I just wanted to ask, where do the police take part responsibility? Where do the police say there is some injustice? We have murdered people and there's no excuse. We have let people off time and time again. I haven't heard a police officer say, you know what, our system is a little bit racist. There is institutional racism in our system. We are doing wrong things and we aren't being pulled up for it and something needs to happen. I've never heard a policeman say that. Maybe I just missed the TV that day. Have you got a response to that?
Well, look at the size of the organisation, and you will have individuals in the organisation. I've been in this organisation many years, and I know my colleagues. We do not like or stand up for individuals that abuse their powers. Let me make that absolutely clear. We certainly don't. And I know we're going to talk about stop and search later, and I know we're going to discuss around stop and search, which I think it's very, very important to have that discussion. But, you know, we are, as police officers, accountable to the law as anybody else. We are just as accountable that if we do, you know, there should be that accountability. And that is very, very important, such as the Independent Police Complaints Commission as well. So, you know, in answer to that, and if anyone present or anyone feels that they have been badly treated about the issues, then my recommended suggestion is to report it, you know, to actually report it, actually report to the police. I don't want to think I'm fudging the issue here because it's a big organisation and there are officers that do wrong. And those officers that do wrong should be dealt with the full force, certainly, of the law. And I stand by what the gentleman just said there as well. Yep.
The last 2 years, over 60 people have been killed under police custody with no investigation, no disciplinary, no action. So we got to remember, those 60 people each have families. They're affected by the deaths of these people and feel injustice. So if this is going around the UK, that's just reported 60, there could be even more, I don't know. So if there's a lot of people that can relate to what's happened to Mark Duggan and feel that injustice, and then they see the police as, let's say, a gang, a group of people that protect themselves and look after their people, why don't we unite in our way and protect ourselves, or at least do some uprising whereby you can feel the powerless we've been feeling for so long. But that's just one.
I mean, I've never heard of any police being charged for any kind of crime against the public. You know, you hear about these inquiries and all this stuff, but when it does go to an inquiry, they get off. You know, the judge is their friend. The judge says, "Oh, nothing's been done out of order," and I don't see no police officer being charged for assaulting anybody. I'm sorry, can you tell me the numbers of police officers that have been charged for assault?
I mean, certainly, any death in contact with the police is always, you know, a sad thing, and certainly Mark Duggan as well, what's happened, and I know that's being investigated and it's subject to an inquest as well, and that's important to bear that in mind. Coming back to the first point, I'm not convinced necessarily that everything that happened on that night was necessarily a reaction to the sad death of Mark Duggan. I'm not convinced that it certainly was. And that's my opinion. Yeah. The other thing as well is that the gentleman asked me, you know, how many police officers. I'm afraid I haven't got those statistics. Across London as well. And I know that there are occasions when police officers have been convicted for assault, but I'm afraid I haven't got the actual statistics that I can actually. If I had, I tell you. Yeah. But I'm afraid I haven't got those statistics. I'm sure we can. In fact, you can actually get it through the Freedom of Information Act request to the police. You know, you're entitled by law to contact and actually ask for sort of statistics. We've got those statistics in hand that we can actually use them, but then obviously we'll give them. But I'm afraid I don't have the actual.
Going back to one of your points, you said that you don't believe it's the right way to actually address this ongoing problem of. So you said, it's not the right method of addressing the problem. I wanted to kind of pose a question. What method would you say that is right? Because basically the current methods that people have used in the past are not working. It's protesting. Like there's an issue going on in Congo at the moment. People are protesting against it, but there's not much being done about it. So it's getting to the point where unless people uprise in a way that is violent, in a way that's you know, causes some sort of effect and some sort of harm, they won't be listened or heard. So is there a suggestion from your perspective on how to address such issues?
Most definitely. And it's not just the issue we're talking about now, it's across the board as well. And I feel a lot of it is around peer group pressure. Being part of a group, being influenced by people around you as well, particularly young people, to get involved in all elements of the sort of criminality. And without that sort of that positive role model that's nearby, somebody can actually act as something positive, so that somebody doesn't feel they've got to take part in crime, to make money, be part of a gang, etc., that's involved in violence. And I think a lot of it actually stems from, well, again, we're going to discuss this later, I know, certainly in the third question. But it's all the way through. It's people that you engage with, you're involved in. It's also the opportunity to take part in other activities as well. To take part in positive activities. It all stems from the home as well, from parents. You know, our parents are always challenging the young people, guiding them, checking what's in their room, what's under their bed, because we've had a situation not too long ago, and again, I'll share, please tell me if I'm going off subject. We had a situation fairly recently where we had a group of 3 young people all arrested. 2 of them were known, had property on them from robberies, and there was a young person there, the youngest, had never been caught. And police searched their homes and their homes. Nothing was found on the 2, but under the bed of the 3rd person, never trouble before, was a special purse. If you imagine how the parents felt, that young person, obviously getting involved in something. Again, I can't comment on individual circumstances, etc. But you know, a lot of this, it stems from the home, from the family, challenging, guiding as well, being really, you know, they're out, you know, people are out as well. You know, where have you been? Who have you been with? What are you up to? You know, so essentially checking rooms, etc. Well, in community as well. And I think that's really, really important, and it's helping to guide people certainly onto a positive path. And that's what we need. That's what's important within the community, rather than get dragged in or something. And it's there. I think you can do it as well. It's out there. There's lots of opportunities.
Back to the question, which was there are hundreds of millions of reasons for the riots. I wouldn't say death for the police or whatever. Everybody has lots of individual reasons. But coming back to the parents thing, which I kind of have a big disagreement to, because I personally know, and a lot of people in this room that probably know me, have experienced a lot of parents that have, I'll be specific, that have, she has 2 children, eat the same food, growing up in the same house, went to the same schools. One of them got into Oxford University, another one is always in trouble with the police. The parent is doing exactly the same thing in teaching the child. What you've got to remember, down to the individual, if someone is going to do wrong, they're going to do wrong. It is so easy to blame the parents, but the parents can only do so much.
In relation to what the guy that set him up said, I don't know if you answered it directly, because I think he was actually talking about what space there is for dissatisfaction. And he said, obviously, that the riot is the wrong way to address it. But if we think about it deeply, really, like, what spaces are there really for young people to express their dissatisfaction? Say with policing, I mean, I've been to that, like I said, same thing with protesting, where when you end up getting, you know, you think you have a voice and you end up being killed for 9 hours. Yeah, that's what a lot of people did though. Or like, you know, you go to like, say, a conference and you're listened to briefly and then, you know, they go back to their jobs and everything carries on as normal. Or, you know, you've been stopped and searched and you want to complain. And I had like, ironically, I organised a debate about stop and search, and the following day I got stopped and searched. And obviously, even though I knew my rights, I was still told that I had to give my name and I had to give my address, and the woman was willing to, like, you know, take out my details to find it. She gave me the receipt and it had nothing at the back. It didn't say why I was stopped, it didn't say the outcome of it, it didn't say my nationality. And so if we're saying, you know, you should complain, and really what that means is the police is investigating the police. What are we meant to do? Like, what spaces are there for us to express our dissatisfaction?
My name is Chris Cook. I'm a bishop in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. I just wanted to say, I think a lot of why the riots went the way they did was to do with the issue of morals. I remember, sitting in my front room with my wife, we were watching the Brixton riots weren't televised, but the Clapham Junction ones were, and it was actually a very sad experience. I mean, I love Clapham Junction myself. I go there to shop with my family, and what I saw wasn't necessarily people protesting against the system as such. It was just people, mainly young people, just having no respect for the country and a place where I'm sure they've been mostly shops to shop and buy things, and that feeling of patriotism, like this is my country, I need to make sure that this place is, kept in an orderly kind of fashion, didn't seem to go to people's minds. I think that there should be a forum for young people to voice their concerns, their opinions by all means. But I think that definitely, trashing the country and things like that is definitely the wrong way to go about it. I was disappointed. Most of the young people I saw were black people, and I wasn't very pleased with that. But I think as well, I think people took the opportunity because it was there, and it was a chance to have some fun and to, do some chaos, and not necessarily so much to fight against the man, as it were, in terms of fighting against the system. I would say perhaps older people, maybe, people who were involved in riots from 1980 would think, yes, a chance or something like that. But I would say for the most part, people were just beating people on their blackberries and just saying, let's go and take some watches and some stuff. And I don't think it was really any more complicated than that. I'm gonna go now. Thank you.